this morning. The Isle of Man Film Festival seems to go from strength to strength. Now in its 7th year, the festival promotes and celebrates film, both homegrown and international, through its short film competition and various events and screenings. Well, the 2018 event gets underway this evening. Joining us live in the studio is one of the festival directors, Dave Armstrong. Dave, good morning.
Good morning. The downside of having a camera that close at this time of the day is obviously they can probably see how tired I probably am. I'm not an early riser like you, but I'm doing my best. But listen, it's going to be a really exciting week, and it starts today.
Indeed it does. And joining us on the phone from England is also the patron of the festival, Mark Kermode. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. The upside of being on the phone is that I don't have a camera in my face, although clearly I've been up and running since 5 a.m. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Yes, rub it in.
So, gentlemen, the 7th festival is here and plenty lined up for it. Dave, it all starts this evening. What's going on tonight?
Well, this evening, we're just very lucky to have this documentary, Stronger Than Bullets. I know the producer, but I've met the director, Matt Millen, and he thrust himself into the middle of the Arab Spring, and it was just a remarkable film that showed us an insight into events around that through the context of music, and how, we take for granted in this part of the world, being into the music scene as well a little bit, that we can just get up and play our guitars and our keyboards and do what we want, but that was tough for them. And through their eyes, they tell the story of the Arab Spring, how music blossomed again. And then again, as we know, it went a little bit pear-shaped, shall we say. But it's a very powerful documentary on the Peel Centenary Centre. Not just Q&A with producer and director, but with a fantastic guy called Malik El, who's a hip-hop artist, Libyan hip-hop artist, who's in exile in the US, and he has some tales to tell.
I can imagine. Moving to tomorrow night, there's the movie quiz, which is sold out. Also on Friday night, which is also sold out. And Mark, this is something I want to bring you in on. I mean, this is big, I think, not just for the island, but even wider, really. 2001, A Space Odyssey, 50th anniversary. And you'll be speaking also to Katerina Kubrick, the daughter of the director, I understand.
Yeah, the extraordinary thing, firstly, the fact that 2001 is as old as it is. I remember seeing 2001 in the cinema, when I was a child, and it's such an extraordinary piece of work. It is. I just recently did a program for BBC4 looking at science fiction films, and it is amazing that it's as old as it is. It's being shown in an Ultra HD screening, and any chance to see 2001 on something other than a small computer screen is great. And then to be able to talk to Katerina Kubrick about the film, about its legacy, I don't think there's anyone who's seen it who's been unaffected by it, whether it's to do with, the fact that it changed the way that science fiction cinema looked. Some of the special effects were done by Doug Trumbull, who went on to make Silent Running, and then, many of the people who worked in effects went on to work on the movies that we now think of as, the great modern science fiction classics. It's still a film which provokes really heated debate about what it means, about what's actually happening at the end during the Stargate sequence. There are people who've read the novel, which was written alongside the script, who have a particular understanding of what's going on at the end. But I've been arguing about what actually happens at the end of 2001 most of my life, and I don't think I've ever come to a proper conclusion about it. So yeah, that's going to be a really special event.
Moving to the Saturday night, and Dave, this sounds like a really special evening as well. Actually, the Gaiety, Manx musicians playing music from the films.
Yes.
Are you able to tell us any more yet? Give us maybe a little sneak preview of one of the tracks.
I can't possibly let you know. Give that away. You'd have to be there. Hopefully, you would be there. However, the evening's kicked off by our good friend Mark. Who, thank you again for coming and gracing our festival with your presence, Mark. And really looking forward to an insight into your early days in your preferred profession, or was it is it now still a preferred profession?
No, I think it is preferred. So I've written a book called How Does It Feel About Being in Bands, because alongside being a film critic, I've played music very badly all my life, and so I wrote this book about being in bands, and I'm just starting off the tour for the book. And so it was suggested, well, why don't I do a talk at the Gaiety? To be honest with you, any chance to be in the Gaiety for me is great. I was there some time ago with the band The Dodge Brothers, and we played along to a silent film, Beggars of Life, the Louise Brooks film, as part of the Isle of Man Film Festival. We've done talks there with, notaries like John Hurt, And so just a thrill to be back in the Gaiety at all, which was the first theatre that I ever went to as a child. I was taken to see Tom O'Connor by my mum and dad. So it was the first theatre I ever went into. And I'm just doing a talk about being in bands, about playing music, about breaking double basses and failing to play the harmonica and never mastering the ukulele, and proving, hopefully, that it is possible for anyone to play the bagpipes. And then at the end of that, that'll be the first half. And the second half is going to be a collection of Manx musicians, people who actually can play, playing themes from the movies. And I have threatened that I might join in on one of the songs. We'll see whether they allow me to.
I'm sure that'll be allowed, won't it, Dave?
Yeah. I think if it depends how you behave in the first half. Really, I think we'll wait up at the interval.
Well, if the past experience is anything to go by very badly, then Dave, so that's not going to happen.
Oh no! I am really looking forward to the whole evening, and the musicians have been rehearsing, constantly, and it's a great selection of songs, not just themes but songs from the movies, and
rather unexpected, I think, in some instances as well.
But what's really interesting when we've first, and I must thank Sam and Ray, a fellow musician from the Isle of Man, who have put this together. And when we first looked at songs from the movies, you miss out so many. You think, hang on a minute, and you start thinking of themes, and then you miss out on so many classic songs that were in movies. And it was a great sort of history lesson in the movies, and remembering how many great classic songs were in the movies, and some of them will be performed.
I mean, Dave's absolutely right. I mean, I did a series for Radio 2 called Celluloid Jukebox, which was entirely based around playing, songs that have appeared in movies. I think we're 3 series on now, and we're still finding stuff that we're surprised to remember. Oh yeah, of course, that was in that film, and that was in that film. There is an infinite palette.
Indeed there is. And just quickly, a bit of a mention, guys, as well, as to what's going on the Sunday, because this is almost like the sort of the meat of the festival, really, isn't it? This is where you're actually going to be looking at films.
Yeah, this is really, I suppose, really what the festival is about, or was about. We've got entertainment. Obviously, we want to engage the Manx public, engage them in all things film, and the culmination of that is our international short films screening on Sunday. And again, we're blessed with so many incredible entries and a great selection of movies. And there's a free screening on Sunday morning. Starts around 10 o'clock, but there will be coffee. And I think, every year I'm just surprised and sort of saddened as a filmmaker that the bar just seems to be moving higher and higher every year. That's what we've got to attain to be able to get our short films out into the festival circuit.
Gentlemen,
it's absolutely true that every year that those short films get better. And Dave's also right, that is the heart of the festival. That, watching those films, that's really what it's about. And it's such a brilliant event. And every year the quality just gets better and better.